I mean, there's so many other types of services. And, people are qualified to do this and do that. Personally, I have no qualification at all. Somehow or another, I can sing a little bit, so when I get some opportunity to sing and do my little bit of service, I'm forever indebted. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So I guess we do a little Jaya Radha Madhava.
Let's do it big, not little.
Is it working?
Let's do it big, not little.
Okay. Big version. Jaya Radha Madhava, Punjabi Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Bhakti. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the assembled. All glories to Shri Guru Govind. So I don't see a verse on the board. So we just speak a little something? I don't know, whatever you want me to do.
We continue on with the.
Is this with the magnet on here? I feel like it's gonna tickle my nose.
Little bit back.
Yeah. Does it clamp on here?
Yeah. No, only method. Yeah.
Looks like it has a little mustache.
This is the verse number 5.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So we read from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Avashadayat Atmaiva Hi Atmano Bantur Atmaiva Ripur Atmana Udared Atmanatmanam Natmanam Afashadayet Atmaiva Ripu Udared Atmatmanam Natmanam Avasadayet Atmaiva Yatmano Bandhu Atmaiva Ripuratmana
नात्मानाम् अवसादये आत्मैव बन्धुर् आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः उदारेदात्मनात्मानाम् नात्मानाम् अवसादये
Atmana Mataji's. Udharet. One must deliver. Atmana. By the mind. Atmanam. The conditioned soul. Na. Never. Atmanam. The conditioned soul. Avastayet. Put into degradation. Atma, mind. Eva, certainly. He, indeed. Atmana, of the conditioned soul. Bandhu, friend. Atma, mind. Eva, certainly. Ripu, enemy. Atmana, of the conditioned soul. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada. A man must elevate himself by his own mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Please repeat. A man must elevate himself by his own mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. The word Atma denotes body, mind, and soul, depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are equally important. Since the mind is the central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and draw it away from attachment to sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nescience. In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because of the mind's ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be so trained that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature, and in this way the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in the material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word he is used for emphasizing this point, i.e., one must do this. It is also said, Mana eva manasyanam kara. You don't have to repeat. Mana eva manasyanam karanam bandha mokshayo bandhaya vishayas ango muktaya nirvishaya manaham. I mean, you could chant along if you know the whole verse. Anyway, the translation. For man, mind is the cause of bondage, and the mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage, and mind detached from sense objects is the cause of liberation. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation. Yeah, Haribol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. So this is a very nice verse, and it's important because I don't know about you guys, but in the Kali Yuga for me, the mind is, out of control. And then there's a nice example I didn't see the picture in here, but there's a verse it's describing how the mind is being, or the soul is being pulled by the chariot, and the horses are there. So the analogy is, sorry, what am I looking at? Trans?
6 verses.
Picture.
Sorry?
Other that painting.
Oh, the painting.
Picture.
No, that's not the picture I'm talking. That's not the painting I'm talking. There's the horses have on their heads, the nose, the eyes. So this chariot is this significance of this chariot is the horses are like the senses, and the reins are the reins of the mind. Okay, and the driver is the intelligence. So the reins. Anyway, the point is that the senses are being drawn to their sense objects. We're being pulled. We hear some music, and this is our trick when we do these holy festivals. Sometimes people criticize us because we're playing some rock music, and this does not belong in ISKCON. What are you doing? This is not ISKCON. But for the karmis, they hear this music, and they're attracted. Oh, and I know for me it was like that. So they're attracted, they come. And then they think, oh yeah, this is nice music, rock music. Oh, we got this. And then they come, and then all of a sudden, before they know it, they're dancing, Haribol, Haribol. So we're trying to engage the people that would not normally be engaged. Here we have mostly people from Indian background. So for you, what is one man's food is another man's poison. We understand that. But somebody who's above this mental conception can understand what is the purpose behind what the devotees are doing. So sometimes it's said that the devotees cannot be understood. You cannot understand what they're doing. But if you look deep enough, then you can understand that, as we were saying, our only purpose, our only goal is to somehow or another attract the minds of the people and engage them in Krishna's service. Because once we're engaged in Krishna's service, then the mind settles down. So this analogy of and above the intelligence is Krishna, right? So Krishna is giving us intelligence, and then this intelligence, if we can keep that under control, we can control the mind. And if the mind is under control, then and only then can we control the senses. So if we don't take direction from Krishna, if that connection is broken, then everything gets messed up. And all of a sudden, the horses are going to have... Anybody ridden horses? Okay, a few people. Well, if you know horses, you get on a horse. If you're not in control of that horse, they'll just immediately go wherever they want. You could be riding on the horse and thinking everything is good, and then the horse all of a sudden decides, I think I'm going to go back to my stall because I know there's food back there. And they just turn around and start going home. And you're going, I don't want this to happen, but the horse, has a mind of his own, and he starts going back where he wants to go. And we're sitting on the horse and thinking, come on. But horses, they know if you are experienced, somehow they know if you're experienced, and if you have experience like this, the horse starts going the way it wants. But if you're an experienced rider, if you have control of your horse, then you can go, no, pull him back and say, no, this way. And then if it's forceful enough, then the horse will obey, like this. So it's the same analogy. The horses are out of control. The mind, the senses, the tongue, the ears, everything is out of control. So we have to use the mind, which is guided by the intelligence, which is guided by Krishna. If that chain is there, then everything becomes under control. And when we have this control, then the mind, it says in this purport how the purpose of all yoga systems is to control the mind, to draw it away from the attachment of sense objects. And in this example that I'm giving, it's the feed at home for the horse. The horse wants to go home and eat something. So we got to be able to control the senses by controlling the mind, by controlling the intelligence, by taking instruction from Krishna. And that instruction comes through the via media of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. So it's only by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we understand. I mean, for me, many of you guys know, but you got to realize that when we're growing up, we never even heard the word Krishna. Never even heard the word name Krishna. It didn't exist in our world. Didn't exist. And so, you got to realize that that's where we're coming from. We didn't have Krishna as a child, growing up. We didn't have little Ladu Gopal on the altar. We didn't have, in India, you can see on the street, the lorry going down the street, Ram butter, Govinda's breads. Everything is centered around Krishna in India. But every once in a while you see the name of Krishna. And you have to be very clever if you want to see it. For instance, I have a neighbor across the street. His name is McNara. Does that have the name Krishna in it? McNara? Think about it. If you take the middle letters and you flip them backwards, it says Rama. So sometimes you have to look for it. If you look for it, you know what you're looking for, you can see Krishna everywhere. So McNara, to me, when I look at it, I go, oh yeah, Rama. So this is the trick. You learn tricks to find Krishna in everything. So this is how we engage or try to engage our mind. See Krishna in everything and everyone. Because actually, if we're Krishna conscious, and this is another important point, that Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. Krishna is in the heart, just like two birds on the tree, this analogy, the two birds on the branch, and then Krishna is one of the birds, and Paramatma is one, and Jivatma is the other, right? So the one bird is trying to enjoy his senses by tasting the fruit, and it's sometimes sweet, and sometimes bitter. Sometimes it's nice, everything is good. But then problems arise, unavoidable. You can't avoid problems in life. It happens to everybody, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Hindu, whether you're Christian. Nobody is exempt from the problems of life. And what are they? They're fourfold miseries. What are they? English. Who knows English? Huh? Yes, birth, death, old age, and disease. Nobody wants these things. Nobody's interested in getting old. Now that I'm hitting 72, just going, how did that happen? Isn't it? You're just going, whoa, that's, we don't want to be old. You start jumping up and down and you try to sing like you did when you were 25 and it just doesn't work the same anymore. No, it's true. I mean, I make a good show. I can make a show. But I'm thinking, at the end of the day, I'm just going home and go, golly, what happened? This hurts, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my wrist hurts. My throat can't sing anymore. Just like, and when you're young, you can do this stuff all day long and not even blink an eye. But it happens to everybody. Everybody gets old, everybody gets sick. Now I'm hearing this one has cancer, this one has this bronchitis, this one that. It's just like, golly. Yeah? And death? Who wants to die? That's creepy, man. Isn't it? It's like, unless you're really fixed in Krishna consciousness, it's frightening. It's frightening to think, where am I going? We hear the philosophy all day long, every day. That's all right, but when it's your turn, it's scary. Okay, but what is the analogy Prabhupada always gives about death? The analogy of the kitten
Oh, yeah.
and the cat and the
Mouse.
mouse. So what is the analogy? Who knows? Someone explain. Okay, so there's a cat. And he's coming for the rat or the mouse. And the rat is very, very fearful. Why? Because when he sees the cat's mouth, he sees the jaws of death. Right? And then there's the kitten, baby cat. And when the mouth comes to open up and grab the kitten is thinking, oh, here's my mother. So he's not afraid at all. He's quite happy. Oh, here's my mother coming to take me someplace. Oh, cool. I got to go for a ride. So, same jaws. So these are compared to the jaws of death. So when the jaws of death come for the non-devotee, then it's very, very fearful. But when death comes for the devotee, he's thinking, oh, here's Krishna coming to take me home. So if we have this consciousness, we can not be afraid of anything. When there was wars in Calcutta, they were dropping the bombs, right? And everybody was running away. Prabhupada was in Calcutta, they were dropping the bombs. Right? I think, oh. And he was like one of the only people that just said, well, if Krishna wants to take me, Krishna will take me. You know? And what is this verse? No one can kill me if Krishna is protected by Krishna. And no one can save me if you're protected by Krishna. Or one, but death is coming. What is this Sanskrit verse? Oh, you pundit. I'm not a pundit, but I get the philosophy. Not a doctor, something like that. Yes, okay, good. Say it loud. Yes, and the translation properly.
Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. Krishna wants to save you, no one can kill you.
Yes. So we have to have this consciousness that we're always protected by Krishna. And yesterday we did the string of prayers. And I told some story that it reminded me of some stories about Nrsingadev. How Nrsingadev was protecting us. Right? If we want protection, then we pray to Lord Nrsingadev. Okay, I'll tell another story. You want to hear some stories, right? So this is one that I didn't tell you guys, but I told Janardhan and some Nrsingadev stories. But this is my personal experience. I was in Denmark, and in Denmark it can get really cold and really windy. So the devotees are fired up. They don't care. They go on Harinam. And you're out there, and you got big boots, you got 2 pairs of socks, you got long johns underneath your dhotis, you got a t-shirt, you got a shirt, you got a sweater, and you got a big thick coat, and you got a hat, and you got a hood over the hat, and you got wool gloves, but the fingers are exposed so you can still play the mridanga. Okay? And then you go on Harinam for 2 or 3 hours. Maybe 4. Okay, so we're out there in Harinam, we go downtown Denmark. And we're playing, and I'm leading the kirtan, and everybody's happy, and everything's good. And we're right in downtown, and pretty soon, this one guy comes up. He has a beer bottle, drunk guy. He's intoxicated. So he had got a beer bottle. He goes over to some of the Madajis, and he starts, threatening to pour the beer on some of the ladies. Demon, crazy demon. So I'm leading the kirtan, so I go over to him, kind of like, stand in front of him and chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Actually, no, I'm taking it back. I'm playing kartals. The others were playing drum. So I'm playing the kartals, and I'm leading, and I'm saying, Hare Krishna, hoping that the guy would kind of like, hey, chill out, go away, But still, no. He's trying to pour water or beer on the girls. So then he sees me coming, and guess what? He goes, oh, okay, fine, I'll pour the beer on you. So now he's coming at me. So then I remember this one story when Prabhupada was being accosted by some demon. What, you know the story? He took his kartals and he started swinging the kartals like Sudarshan Chakra. Right? You heard this? I don't know, maybe people don't know. It's a story. Prabhupada was swinging his kartals like this. So I thought this, I said, okay, right. So I grabbed my kartals, And I put him out on the end, and I start swinging him around like this, thinking, yeah, get any closer with that beer bottle, I'm gonna smack you right in the head, buddy. So guess what happens? He's holding the beer bottle out there like that, and I'm swinging the cartels. And then I hit the beer bottle. Of course, the beer bottle breaks. Now the guy's got a bottle with a broken, jagged edge on it, and he's upset. He's mad, and he wants to get me. So now he's coming at me with a broken beer bottle, threatening to stab me, and yeah, it was scary. So at this point, I thought, okay, Jai the Shrink, I said, Namaste, Nara High, and all the devotees, Namaste. We're all chanting, and I'm chanting the string of prayers, and everybody's chanting, and the guy's still coming at me like this, and then he kind of slows down, and all of a sudden he just kind of like goes, and he turns around and he walks away. So that's my personal experience of being saved by Lord Nrsingadev. But there's many stories how Nrsingadev saves devotees, and we all know the story of Prahlad Maharaj, and that was Prabhupada's favorite passage in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He loved the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad was such a fantastic devotee that Prabhupada really relished his heartfelt prayers. So that's a good segment of the Bhagavatam to read. But we have to control our minds by, and in this day and age, in order to control our minds, we have a program. Prabhupada has given us a program, how to engage the mind and the senses in Krishna's service. This is the key to controlling the senses, controlling the mind, is by engaging them in something that has a higher taste. We have this one book called Higher Taste, right? So the meaning is that you can give up the lower taste if you have a higher taste. If you have something that you actually find, oh, this is actually better, then you can give up the lower taste. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So Prabhupada has given us so many things to do for Krishna, so we can give up the lower activities of the mind and the senses. Okay, let's go through a little exercise. We have the deities here. What are the different things to engage the different senses? What do we do if we want to engage the eyes? What do we do? We look at Krishna. We look at the beautiful form of Shama Sundar playing his flute, right? And Radharani. How, when we see some of these deities, how beautiful they are. How can you not be attracted? And your mind is like pacified, right? Okay, let's try something else. The nose, what do we do? Flowers, what else? Incense. Prasadam. But not before it's offered, right? Okay, what else? We got the ears, that's easy for me. Kirtan, Krishna Katha, listening all the time to Prabhupada's lectures, bhajans. And now, in the early days, it was a little tough. You didn't have a lot of lectures. When they first, when the devotees came, there was no lecture tapes. There was no kirtan tapes. There wasn't, it didn't exist, Now, you can go on YouTube, you can listen to endless hours of kirtan, and you can get the MP versions of Prabhupada's lectures, and it goes on, and room conversations. There's tons of stuff. No excuse. You can always listen to something Krishna conscious. It's always there. Okay, what else we got? The tongue. Yeah? Harinam, Krishna Prasadam. In this way we control the tongue, right? And last one. Touch. What do we do? Yes, we try to get the dust from the devotees' feet is what we try, but it's kind of hard. But yeah, embracing the devotees, touching the devotees. This way we engage all of our senses. And Prabhupada gave us our sadhana bhakti, what to do with our time. So you guys are very fortunate. Actually, I'm kind of envious of you guys. You have a temple right here in Las Vegas. I live in Escondido, and one day we're going to have a temple as beautiful as your temple, but it hasn't happened yet. So I'm still waiting, but it's getting closer. So we're going to do it. But to be able to come together with the devotees and get the association of the devotees, to see the deity, to smell the incense, to engage our senses, to hear about Krishna, to chant Krishna's name. This is such a, it's a boon. It's an incredible boon. It's an incredible mercy that Krishna has given us. He comes in this Murti form. Why? Because we don't have the eyes to see Krishna personally yet. But we have to believe that, by engaging in the service of Krishna, one day, by Krishna's causeless mercy, we can walk up to him and see God face to face. This is our goal, to meet Krishna once again. We've forgotten about Krishna. But he's so merciful that he comes in the deity form so that we can see him, we can serve him. And in this way we can develop our love for Krishna. Krishna is there, and he's waiting patiently for us to reestablish our loving relationship. There's nothing more important in this lifetime than doing that. And the process that we have by Lord Chaitanya's grace, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun singing and dancing and hanging out with the devotees and taking prasadam and doing service. It's, everybody, when you come to the temple, everybody's happy. You see, people are working hard, but they're happy. This man here, I see he's working so hard. Have you ever seen him when he's not happy? He's the hardest working person I've ever met. Well, Vikram maybe. But they're all very happy. You can see this. When the devotees work hard for Krishna, you become happy. And you get more strength. When we go on marathons, you got to ask Rameshwar Prabhu about the time when they had to publish 16 Chaitanya Charitamritas in, 2 months or something ridiculous. Everybody thought it impossible, cannot be done. Prabhupada said, impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. So they did incredible service, and none of them can even believe that they did it. And I have personal experience. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while you have a challenge. Krishna puts a challenge to you, and you think, this is impossible. How can I possibly do that? Okay, the example for me was, build this, Bhakti Marg Swami always comes to New Vrindavan. How many people have been to New Vrindavan? Not everybody. Anyway, if you haven't been, you gotta go. It's really cool. But Bhakti Marg Swami's, how many people know Bhakti Marg Swami? Okay, a few people. Anyway, he always produces, I'm losing my voice. He always produces these plays. So we had this little bitty stage in the community room. Thanks. We had this little bitty stage in the community room, and I thought, this stage is not big enough for Bhakti Marg Swami. We got to do something. So I said to Malati, Malati, we got to move the stage over to this side because the ceiling is higher, and if we're going to move it, we might as well expand it. We're going to do this and do this. She goes, oh, okay, let's do it. So then it's like, okay, we're moving panels, doing this, and time is moving out. I'm just like, okay, this has got to be done by tomorrow. So there you are. You've been working on it for 3 days straight, and Bhakti Marg's going to put on his performance and do things tomorrow. It's got to be done. So you're up in the middle of the night, and you're working and working and working and working and working, and pretty soon it becomes, it's Mangal Arati time. And you're thinking, okay, you finally got it finished, but it took until, all day long until 4:30 in the morning before you got it done. But you just realize that Krishna's behind this. You're getting energy that you personally do not have. It's only by the mercy of Krishna, people that have worked hard for Krishna, they know this because they felt it. And this is one of the mysteries of Krishna consciousness, is that when you fully surrender to Krishna, Krishna gives you more energy. But that's pretty, high state. And like I said, for me, every once in a while, maybe once or twice in a lifetime. And for some people, it's a natural occurrence every day. They just, like Prabhupada, he just was unstoppable. Unstoppable, you couldn't stop Prabhupada. It was just like go, 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 go. All the servants, everybody that was trying to hang with Prabhupada, they'd all get jet lag and be like totally wiped out. And Prabhupada would just get up right on schedule. He'd arrive in some town and then all of a sudden he'd be right back on schedule no matter what. Just go, 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 go. Because he was fully surrendered to Krishna. So we can also do that by Krishna's mercy. But we have to have that desire to do it. But if we fully surrender, then Krishna says, as you surrender unto me, I reveal myself. So if we want to see Krishna face to face, we have to fully surrender to Krishna. That's the truth. And it's a gradual process, Most of us are not going to do it overnight. So once Prabhupada was asked, well, how long does it take to fully surrender? One minute. 1 minute. But then you look at yourself and you go, well, I've been working on this for 40 years and it still hasn't happened. But it's up to us, We can do it in 1 minute if we really want to, if that's our desire. It's our own mind, our own senses, our own selfishness, our own false ego that is stopping us. And there's that one example of a man, he wanted to cross the river, right? So it's the nighttime. So he gets into the boat and he starts rowing the boat to go across the river. And he's rowing and rowing and rowing and rowing and rowing. And he's thinking, gosh, it's taking forever. How come I'm not getting there? So finally the sun comes up and he looks and he notices that, the boat is still tied to the dock. So he was rowing all night, but he didn't go anywhere. So we can be rowing and chanting and doing service and this and that, and just, lifetime after lifetime. But you have to release, untie the boat. You have to give up the attachments, right? So when it says in Bhagavad Gita, constant practice and detachment. You have to do both. You can't just be fully serving and at the same time still attached to name, fame, stuff, money, all this stuff. If we're still attached to these things, then that binds us to the material world. So we have to be able to, fully give up everything and just be able to drop it, right? And they say like the advanced devotees, when they leave their bodies, it's like they drop their body like somebody who goes to pass stool and drops their waist. They just drop it like that and walk away. They don't care. They're not interested in the body. It's just like, it is not important. The body is not important when we get to that level.